still going, and that you could just go in what I'm wearing or in kimono or whichever
Right.
you wanted.
Right. I know in some cities, people only come if they're dressed in kimono, and it is pretty much the Japanese American community. But in Seattle, what I like about it is that people from all different races come and join in, and I think that's a wonderful, wonderful thing about Seattle. That there is a lot of cross-cultural communication and lots of opportunities for people who want to get to know people of other communities and other races.
You mentioned that a lot of it's looking back at your ancestry and honoring your elders, and I feel like that's something that the Asian cultures and the Pacific Island cultures are a lot better at than here. We put our great-grandparents in a nursing home and say, we'll take care of you, whereas Asian culture, a lot of people bring it in and stay closer, and it's used for wisdom, the older generations. Do you sense that at all, or do you feel that from your experiences?
Well, I think it is true that in many Asian and Pacific Islander cultures that family is very, very important, and there are very close ties between the different generations. And that's not to say that isn't the case with other communities and cultures too. But I know that to be true about Asians and Pacific Islanders. And I think that's a very beautiful part of our culture, that there is, in many cases, a real tie between the generations and a deliberate effort to foster those ties.
Last question for you. I know I'm always looking at the clock. When's lunchtime? Personally, what are your favorite foods, be it American food or foods Japanese that have been passed down through generations?
I like all kinds of foods, but I have to admit that my comfort foods are oftentimes foods that I was brought up with. So they are Japanese or Japanese American foods. So things like rice and rice dishes and noodle dishes of various kinds. They're not only specific to Japanese culture, of course. Many different Asian Pacific Island cultures will enjoy those items, but they are some of my comfort foods.
I guess as a follow-up to that, is there anything that you've tried, mainly Japanese or API food, that you're just like, ooh, that's the last time I'll try that one? Is there anything that on the opposite of love, that you're just not a fan of? Is there anything that comes to mind?
Well, I have to say that my grandmother told me once that she thought perhaps I was missing a critical gene, or perhaps my parents had picked up the wrong child in the hospital when I was born, because it's not possible to be Japanese and not like fish. But I don't like fish, so that is something very anomalous. I'm the only Japanese person or Japanese American person I know who doesn't like fish.
Wow. Wow. Anything else you come to mind?
No.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time. This was wonderful.
Thank you. I really appreciate the fact that you're doing this.